Hi guys, so let's continue. We we discussed about variables, and in this video we are gonna discuss about data types. But before diving into that, there's one small topic about variables that needs to be discussed, that is identifiers. Identifiers is basically the unique name that we assign to a variable. As we discussed in the last class, we can assign variable name as x, y, z, or proper minimum, or whatever we want, but they have to be unique. So similarly, identifiers can be xy or more descriptive names. It is recommended to use more descriptive names to make the code more understandable. Now there are a few general rules that need to be kept in mind while naming a variable. For example, a variable can only contain letters, that's capital or small, digits, and underscore and a dollar sign. Now it must start with a letter, lowercase letter, and no white spaces. Variables cannot have any white spaces. I cannot use a variable like my name is equal to Lauren. This is wrong. And it can also start with a dollar and underscore sign. So basically it can start with a letter, underscore, and dollar sign. It cannot start with digits. It is case sensitive. My num and my num, these are two different variables. And reserved words like int, boolean, etc., these cannot be used as variables. Moving on, the 4 questions that were given, I hope you all have done this, and I have a very exciting news for you all. After covering a few more topics, I'm gonna come up with a 100 question series. In those series, we are gonna discuss these 4 questions and 96 more questions. So just get ready for that. It's gonna be from basic to advanced level, and it's gonna be very useful for you. So data types. There are 2 major type of data types. One is primitive data type, other is non-primitive data type. The difference between primitive and non-primitive data type is that primitive data types are built in. They already exist in Java, whereas non-primitive data types are made by programmers. Primitive data type includes byte, short, int, float, double, boolean, or char, however you pronounce it. Now, these are all numbers. Float and double means decimal numbers, and byte, short, int are mainly used for whole numbers. Byte has values minus 128 to 127. Whole numbers has minus 32768 to 32,768. Then int, even more. This is the range of integer. To print numbers greater than this, we use long. That is also a primitive data type. Then we have float, which is used for decimal up to 6 to 7 digits. Then we have double, which is used for decimal up to 15 digits. Then boolean, as we discussed, false true, and then char, single character. Non-primitive includes strings, arrays, and class. So strings is not a built-in data type, but it is so used that some people call it the special 9th type data type in Java. Now most used for numbers are int for whole numbers and double for decimals. Now we discussed earlier that if we have to write float, then we have to write the letter f at the end. Same applies for double. If we are writing double, we have to write the letter d at the end. So this is all about numbers and the different data types. Then we have boolean. So a boolean is basically used for conditional testing. Like if I have to test a condition like true, false, on, off, yes or no, I can simply use boolean. It will return the value as true or false only. Now strings is used so much that some people call it the special 9th type. Anyways, let's look at the discuss between primitive and difference between primitive and non-primitive. Primitive is predefined, non-primitive is created by programmers. Primitive data types always should have some value. They cannot be null, whereas non-primitive data types can be null. Now, primitive data type starts with lowercase, whereas non-primitive starts with uppercase. If you have noticed earlier in all the examples that we have done, for strings we have used uppercase, whereas int we always write in lowercase. So yeah, that is also a difference. And then these are the examples: int, boolean, etc., and then strings. Typecasting is basically converting one data type to another. Now that we have studied about data types, let's look at the conversion from one data type to another. For example, I have a variable my int which has the value 9. So now if I have to convert this integer value into double value, I can do this by writing double is equal to my int. So the data type in which I have to convert the variable name, new name, the variable that I have to convert. Now this will convert the value from 9 to 9.0. So we have converted int to double. This conversion is known as typecasting. Now there are two types of typecasting. One is small to large, the other one is the opposite, that is large to small. So this is the order. If we are going from byte to double in this order, then it's known as widening. This is known as, if we are going from double to byte, this is known as narrowing. So widening can happen on its own. However, for narrowing we have to do it, and this is the syntax. For example, if I have to convert double to integer, we saw an example of int to double, that is widening typecasting. We saw it, this was widening, it happened on its own, no special syntax, nothing. Now if I have to do double to int, I have to write, for example, I have double, the name is my double, and 9.78d. So int integer data type, then my int, which is gonna be the new name. Till now it's is similar to wide casting. So widening. Int my int is equal to int my double. This is the only extra step, that is writing the data type in brackets. Rest all is same. So this will change my value from 9.78 to 9. So we have two types of typecasting, widening and narrowing. We have discussed both, we have seen the examples. Moving on to operators. Now operators are basically used to perform operations, different types of operations on the variable and values. So there are various types of operators in Java: arithmetic operators, comparison operators, assignment operators, logical operators. Let's look at all these one by one. Arithmetic operators, it's pretty similar to mathematical operators. It is actually mathematical operators: plus, minus, multiply, divide, modulus. Modulus will give us remainder. For example, if I do 10 modulus 5, the value will be 0, because 10 divided by 5 gives remainder as 0. Then we have plus plus, increment, plus 1. So if I write x plus plus, this means x plus 1. If I write x minus minus, this means x minus 1. So these are the arithmetic operators. I hope these are clear to you all. We'll see examples when we are going to do the 100 questions. There are going to be many basic questions which will cover the examples, but for now we are focusing on understanding rather than practice. So just you need to understand the operation that each of these perform. So add, simply add, subtract, will subtract, multiply. For multiply we use asterisk symbol, then divide, then modulus. I just showed you increment, decrement we have discussed. Then we have comparison operator. Now while assigning a variable, we usually use equal to sign, right? So what if I have to compare two values? If I have to do x is equal to y, if I have to check whether this is true or false, so I use equal to double, and this signifies equal to in Java and mostly in all programming languages. then this is not equal to, less than, greater than, greater than, equal to, less than, equal to. Rest all are pretty much very simple. Then we have logical operators. Logical and, logical or, logical not. Logical and basically is used for two conditions. For example, if I have condition 1 and I have condition 2. Now if both the conditions are true, only then will it return true. However, in logical or, again I have two conditions. If either one of these conditions is true, it will return true. So this is the difference between logical or. For example, we will discuss this more when we'll do if else situations. It's very useful there, but for now we need to understand that for logical and logical or, we'll have two conditions, and for logical and both have to be true, only then will it return true. For logical or, only one of these has to be true and it will return true. Logical not will simply reverse it. For example, if I'm given a condition that's true, it will return false. If I'm given a condition that's false, it will return true. And at last we have assignment operators, where this is equal to simply equal to, where we are assigning a value to something. From x is equal to 3, this equal to is an assignment operator. Then x plus is equal to 3 signifies x is equal to x plus 3. Simply for minus equal to x is equal to x minus 3. Same for multiply, divide, remainder, and or, then power. For those of you who do not know this, it's completely fine. This means x, if I'm writing, this means x is equal to x raised to power 3. That's it. And then greater than and equal to. Moving on, strings. Strings is basically an object in Java. It is a non-primitive data type we have discussed. Each object has some methods we discussed in the last class. Now what are methods? Methods are basically the various operations we can perform on strings. String methods are actually quite effective, and this is quite an important topic. So without further ado, let's get into these string methods. So we have discussed how to write a string in double quotes. Now length, for example, if I need to get the length of a string, so for example we have a string that's txt, or let's just go with this. If I write greeting dot length, and we have to write parentheses here, so it will give me the length, which is 5. This is 0 index, this is 1 index, this is 2 index, this is 3 index, this is 4 index. The total length is 5. Now text to uppercase, if I write this, or if I write greetings to uppercase, for example, greeting dot to uppercase. Remember that Java is case sensitive, so it will return me hello. Since Java is case sensitive, you need to note that T here is small, whereas U, C are capital. Same for lowercase. Then if I write text, or let's say greeting dot index of h, it will return the value 0. So what is index? So if I have these hello, so what the string will do is it will store these values. H will be at the 0 position, E will be at the first position, L second and 3, and then 4. So this is the indexing of our string. Basically for H we have the 0th position. So if I find the position of H, it will return 0, and so on. So that is meant by index. So if I write greeting dot index of H, it will return 0. You can fill it with whatever you want to find. Now this is concatenation. Concatenation is basically, concat means adding a string. So Java uses plus for both adding and concatenating. When we have numbers, we simply get 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. But what if I have to add two strings? For example, we have an example here. First name dot concat last name. For example, I have a variable known as first name, and then Lauren, and then I have a variable known as last name, Joe. So if I need to print full name, I can simply write first name plus last name. This will give me Lauren Joe. Another alternate method to do the same can be first name dot concat last name. So first name dot concat is basically adding and then last name. So the string to which we have to add, and then concat, and then last string. Concat is the function, and the last name what we have to add to the string. So this is concatenation. Then we have special characters. So for example, if I need to write special characters within my string, so we know that the string has to be in double quotes itself, right? But what if I need to write hello everyone, welcome to Java lecture 2, enjoy. I need to write welcome to Java lecture 2 in double quotes itself. I need this double quotes in the output. So how to do that? If I simply write like this, it will generate an error. So for this we have the special characters in strings. Special characters in strings are followed by backslash. Remember, backslash, not front slash, backslash. So now if I write the same sentence like this, string, then text, and then hello everyone, special character, this will give welcome, this will give me welcome to Java in double quotes in the output. So backslash n is one of the most used special character. So for example, if I write hello everyone and then backslash n and then welcome to Java, it will print it in the next line, welcome to Java in the next line. So hello everyone and then welcome to Java, this will be the output. So this is one of the most used special characters. Now coming to math. Math is another class in Java which has various methods. These methods can be used to perform mathematical functions. So we have max, min, it's not mini, it's min. Basically math.max xy, this is the syntax to write it. This will give us the highest value between x and y. For example, math.max 5, 10, this will give us 10 because 10 is the highest value. Similarly for math.min, it will give us input 5, the lowest value. Moving on, there's another function that is, or method, that is square root x. So this is the syntax, math dot sqrt and then for example 64, this will give us the output 8. Similarly, we can find the square root of any number. Absolute, so math.abs and then the value we need to find the absolute for. Absolute will basically return the absolute value or positive value. So minus 4.7, math.abs will give us 4.7. Then math.random will generate a random number between 0 and 1, where 0 is included, so it can generate 0, 2, but 1 is not included. It's exclusive, so it won't generate 1. Now, if we want to generate a random number between 0 to 100, then we can write int random num and then int and then math.random, the property, the method, asterisk 101. So 101 will be exclusive. It won't be included. So till 100, 0 to 100, it will generate a random number. Last data type which we are going to discuss in detail, Boolean. As we discussed earlier, Boolean is used for true, false, value, on, off, etc. Now, this is mainly used to build logic. Like for example, if I have to, for example, if I say that if the age is greater than 18, then the person can vote. So if age greater than 18, then return true. So it always involves a comparison operator. We discussed the comparison operators, greater than, less than, equal to, all these comparison operators. For example, if I have 10 greater than 9. This is true, so it will return true. 10 equal to 9, however, will return false. So this is all about Boolean data type. Now moving on to the next topic, if else. It is one of the most easiest and important topics. So if else is further divided into if else and else if. We are going to get in detail in the next video. For now, let's just take an overview. If we are given any condition, it's pretty much what the name suggests. If the condition is true, then it's true, else not. So that's usually it. Now we are going to get into detail in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.